Hello, this is Jeff Kelly. Many times I will get calls from people who want to file a Chapter 13 and they'll say, I have called so many bankruptcy law firms and nobody will take my case. What gives? Why is that? And my next question usually is, well, have you filed all your tax returns in the last 4 years? And like 99.99% of the time, the answer is no. Or the other thing that sneaks up on people is they have filed their tax returns, but they haven't filed them correctly. What do we mean by that? Well, there's two big things that we see happen a lot. Number one is people will file separately, um, husband and wife. They'll both claim head of household, which you cannot do because they're married. You can't do that. And the trustee will catch that every single time at the 341 hearing. So, what does it mean when a trustee says, I object to this tax return? You're going to have to fix it. Well, that means your case isn't getting confirmed. And when a case doesn't get confirmed, that's going to be a delay in your bankruptcy attorney getting paid. And most bankruptcy attorneys cannot afford to work for free forever on a case. So it's bad business for a bankruptcy attorney to take a case for somebody who has tax returns that are messed up from the get-go, because the other thing that happens way more often than not, I don't have stats on this, but I can just tell you from personal experience, is usually once I file a case and we stop the foreclosure or we stop the garnishment or we stop the repossession, all the pressure is removed off the client. So, how motivated do you think they are to go pay some tax professional to get these returns corrected, to file the amended plans? The other thing is, frankly, there's not an unlimited supply of tax professionals out there. These guys are busy. They can't move quick. Even if you do find somebody who's willing to take your messed up tax return and get it corrected, it's trouble for them. It takes time. And again, that's going to delay a Chapter 13. So another issue that will often pop up is people claim fake businesses that do not exist, have never existed, and it's all over the tax return. They'll claim losses for the non existent whatever. And of course, a Chapter 13 trustee in the Northern District of Georgia is going to ask about it. Well, tell me about this business that you lost $20,000 last year. And usually the response goes something like this: what business are you talking about? I've never been self employed. Well, did you know that your tax preparer put on here that that you do have a side business and you lost X amount of dollars? You think maybe they did that just so you could get a big fat tax refund? Yep, that's exactly why they did it. Well, guess what? That return has to be amended. And a lot of clients will get extremely frustrated because they'll say, listen, when I filed this case, I didn't have a problem with the IRS. We were good. I just wanted you to fix the house, or I just wanted you to fix the car, or I just wanted you to stop that creditor from taking 25% of my paycheck every week. Well, that's not how Chapter 13 works. Chapter 13 looks at the whole picture. Everything you own is at stake. Everything you own is on the table. Everything you earn is on the table. You don't get to like compartmentalize and pick this and pick that. One of the other like really common misconceptions people will get upset about is, why does a trustee care so much about my house? My house is not in the bankruptcy. Oh, yes, it is. Even if you're paying it direct every month and your mortgage company is accepting payments, which usually happens in almost every case, your house is still considered part of it. And a mortgage company can't just go take it and foreclose without getting permission from the court. And a mortgage company can also charge you fees while you're in a Chapter 13 when they file those motions for relief and such. But back to the tax issue. You got to make sure you are going to a reputable tax preparation person. If you're at work, I usually see it happen a lot in factories or places where there's a lot of people who work together. Somebody will start telling everybody else about this great tax preparation person that's a whiz, and they've got magical ways of getting you a big, huge tax refund. Well, let me fill you in on something. It's not magic, it's criminal. Okay. It is absolutely criminal to make up a fake business, to put it down on your tax return. You know, technically it's criminal when you claim head of household when you know you're not, but you can plead stupid on that one. You just have to get it fixed. But the tax penalties are can be pretty big when you get caught, and you're going to get caught when you file a chapter 13 and you have messed up illegal tax returns. Make sure you get those things accurate and correct. Otherwise, your chapter 13 is not going anywhere, and there's a good chance you may not find a bankruptcy attorney who's willing to take your case because of these errors, or until you get them fixed. Personally, I'll tell you this: if somebody has not filed all their tax returns in the past 4 years, as a general rule, of course, there's always exceptions, but as a general rule, we're not going to file the 13 because we want to get things corrected before we file. And let me tell you something. If somebody says, yeah, I don't care, I'm just going to file your case, you do it later, and they know your case is going to get dismissed, they're not doing you any favors, because here's why. When you go back to file a second case because your first one got dismissed because you never did get the tax thing squared away, you have to file something called a motion to extend stay in a second case. If you had a case dismissed within the past 12 months before filing, you have to file a motion to extend stay. What does that mean? That means a hearing has to be heard within 30 days of your filing, or your bankruptcy protection disappears. Not good for you. Let me tell you something. Motion to extend stays are a lot of work. Everything has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, the judge is not going to grant relief. It probably takes 100 times longer than bankruptcy judges think that it does. It's very costly. You have to pay staff. Sometimes you have to pay them overtime to get it done. So, how fired up do you think bankruptcy attorneys are to take your case when a motion to extend stay is going to be required? I'll tell you the answer. Not very fired up. A lot of work, big headache, and you're going to have to pay more to file that kind of case than if you're just filing one first go around. Again, all these problems can be eliminated if your taxes are filed accurately. Okay. Now, what do you do if you're in a situation where, shoot, you listen to that person at the water cooler who told you, hey, just go file this guy, don't question anything, just get your refund back, and you've done it? What should you do? I would suggest that you go to a reputable tax person or tax company. There's a lot of them. You can Google them. You can read reviews. You can see they've been around. The ones that have been around for years and years. The one that just started up last week, you might want to avoid that one. But get it right. Look at your tax returns. Get them amended. Go sit in front of a professional. If you don't, you could be causing yourself a lot of heartache in your chapter 13. And when you get in situations like that, your car's at stake, your house is at stake, in some cases where garnishments are involved, your paycheck is at stake, your bank accounts. You don't want to get in that double whammy situation of where your house is about to get foreclosed, you're wanting to file a chapter 13, and you can't find a bankruptcy attorney who's willing to take your case because they know it's never going to fly because you haven't filed your tax returns in the past 4 years, or you have filed and you've claimed this big, huge, fraudulent tax refunds over the past 4 years. Well, guess what? When you file Chapter 13 and you do get it corrected, all that money that was fraudulently taken has to get paid back in the Chapter 13. You can be in a huge, ginormous mess. So don't don't play that game. Be careful. Get your tax returns filed correctly.